This video covers section 10.4, graphing quadratic functions using transformations. Objective 2, graph quadratic functions of the form f of x equals x minus h in parentheses squared. We saw that when there were no parentheses in objective 1, that the graph was being moved up and down. When we put parentheses around it, x minus 3 squared and x plus 2 squared, we will see that these graphs get shifted left and right. So remember, the graph of g of x equals x squared passes through the point 0, 0, 1, 1, negative 1, 1. Negative 2, 4, and 2, 4. 3, 9, and negative 3, 9. So we call this our base graph. And then we're obtaining all these new graphs by transforming them. So this is g of x. Our new graph, f of x, says to plug in the x and subtract 3 from it. So if we plug in 0, we'll have 0 minus 3 squared, which is 9. Plugging in 1, we'll have 1 minus 3 as negative 2 squared is 4. Two minus 3 is negative 1 squared, which is 1. 3 minus 3 is 0. Squared is 0. 4 minus 3 is 1. Squared is 1. 5 minus 3 is 2. Squared is 4. And 6 minus 3 is 3. Squared is 9. When you see these points duplicating on both sides, you've got your center at 3, 0. And then it goes 4, 1. 5, 4, and 6, 9. We have the same points on the other side, 2, 1, 1, 4, and 0, 9. And so we see that this graph has been obtained by shifting the graph of g of x equals x squared over 3 to the right. So notice how the x minus 3 in the parentheses shifted it to the right 3. We should expect that this plus 2 is going to shift it to the left 2. Again, we start off with the graph of our y equals x squared, or g of x equals x squared. And then we graph x plus 2 squared. So the number that makes that 0 inside is a negative 2. Negative 2 plus 2 is 0. Squared is 0. Negative 1 plus 2 is 1. Squared is 1. 0 plus 2 is 2. Squared is 4. And 1. 1 plus 2 is 3. Squared is 9. Negative 3 plus 2 is negative 1. Squared is 1. And negative 4 plus 2 is negative 2 squared is 4. And negative 5 plus 2 is negative 3. Squared is 9. So we graph y equals x squared first, so we can compare what f of x has done. So remember, these parabolas go over 1 and up 1, over 2 up 4, over 3 up 9. Left 1 up 1, left 2 up 4, and left 3 up 9. Now our new graph is going to do the exact same thing, but just shifted to a different spot in the plane. So this one starts at -2, 0, -1, 1, and 0, 4, and 1, 9. -3, 1, -4, 4, and -5, 9. So over 1, up 1, over 2, up 4, over 3, up 9, left 1, up 1, left 2, up 4, and left 3, up 9. So now we conclude and we say the graph of f of x equals x plus 2 squared is obtained by shifting the graph of g of x equals x squared 2 to the left. And so notice how the plus 2 in the inside shifts it left 2. The minus 3 on the inside shifts it right 3. So we can make that conclusion now. If h is positive, x minus h squared moves the graph right. If h is positive, x plus h squared moves the graph left. And now putting this together with f of x equals x squared plus k and f of x equals x squared minus k. This one shifted the graph up k and this one down k. And we can put it all together in practice 1 and 2 and have the 2 shifts. So I encourage you to press pause in your video and try to work these out and come back when you're ready to see the solutions. Now that you've had a chance to work these out, I'll work these out with you. So the idea behind this now is to understand that the x plus 2 is going to shift the graph left 2 units, and then the minus 4 is going to go down 4. So we're going to start off by graphing y equals x squared. And then we're going to shift it left 2. And then we'll shift that down 4, the minus 4. So -2, 0 goes down to -2, -4. -1, 1 goes to -1, -3. 0, 4 goes to 0, 0. -3, 1 goes to -3, -3. And -4, 4 goes to -4, 0. So that's what our graph is going to look like. And the main thing to keep in mind is that the original graph starts off at 0, 0. And if you move that left 2 and down 4, you moved that to -2, -4. The opposite of that number, take that number, -2, -4. And now the graph opens up. Over 1, up 1. Over 2, up 4. Over 3, up 9. You can check that by plugging in 1. 1 plus 2 is 3. 3 squared is 9, minus 4 is 5. Left 1, up 1. Left 2, up 4. And left 3, up 9. So now we say that the graph of f of x is obtained by the graph of x squared by shifting left 2 and down 4. Whereas in practice 2, the x minus 3 squared means to move right 3 and up 2. So starting with the graph of f of x equals x squared, the minus 3 means we'll move it to the right 3. The plus 2 means we'll shift it up 2. So that means our new starting point is at 3, 2. And then I know my graph goes over 1 up 1 and over 2 up 4. Over 1 up 1, left 1 up 1, over 2 up 4, and left 2 up 4. So in summary, everything is based on the graph of x squared, and we use the transformations to find the new graphs. The plus 2 on the inside moved it left 2. The minus 4 on the outside moved it down 4. A minus 3 on the inside moves it right 3. The plus 2 moved it up 2. And this concludes the video for section 10.4, graphing quadratic functions, objective 2, graph quadratic functions of the form f of x equals x minus h quantity squared.